Good evening, folks, and welcome to the TradeXchange market wrap-up for the 27th of July, 2016. Let's jump into the numbers for today. You have on your right-hand side the chart of the Dow Jones. We'll start with that. More or less flat, but certainly some gyrations. Immediately off the open there, about a half hour after, we did see an interesting sell-off there to more or less the flat line. We stayed there under the flat line for most of the session, heading into the 2 o'clock hour. And as you know, the FOMC announcement, as expected, was a no change of rate in the Fed funds rate. Again, left it at 50 basis points. You just see some interesting gyrations, not just in the indices, the equity indices, but really in the currency and a bit in the yield, but more on the currency. We initially saw a little bit of a sell-off in the euro, and then return to positive on the euro. Gyrations in the DXY, the dollar index, as you see there on your left-hand side. The dollar index finished lower by 0.03% at 96.737, and we watched that particular dollar fluctuation. Initially, there was a thought process where the FOMC hinted at a little bit more hawkish tone in terms of meaning that rate hike could be in the formula in the coming meetings, but that soon dissipated. So initially you had a little bit of a spike in the DXY, the dollar index. You had a decrease in the euro, and that reversed course some time after. So again, a very interesting dynamic in the equity, currency, and yield today. We do see the 10-year yield at 1.51%. So again, still above the 1.5 handle, but again, rather interesting, kind of retracing back to that yield of a 1.515. On the West Texas Intermediate crude, we did see another decrease by 2.35% at 41.91. Remember, we did see the EIA petroleum figures coming out today, and there was actually a build today. And typically, what happens? We were looking for the forecast was for a draw of crude oil, but instead we had a build, so that had a negative impact on price, and that we went below that 42 handle at 41.91. Gold finished higher at 1347.70. Silver higher as well, back over that 20 handle on silver. Taking a look at, we'll also show you some of the other charts here. We'll take a very, very similar chart in S&P 500. We also taking a look at USO crude oil, really right after that initial drop there, as we told you in the EIA petroleum figures, where the cursor is showing we had a really significant drop, actually, and really just stayed there for most of the session going into settlement. So again, higher than expected draw, actually an actual draw, higher than expected build. Actually, we did see a positive build there versus the forecast of a draw. So again, we saw that impact on West Texas Intermediate crude oil. Turning our attention to the left-hand side, we are expecting some interesting economic activity for tomorrow, including, your typical Thursday, including initial jobless claims and the EIA natural gas report. So we'll see what's coming in from there. We do have international trading goods in the morning, in addition to the Bloomberg Consumer Comfort Index, the Kansas City Fed Manufacturing Index at 11, and we do have your weekly money supply and Fed balance sheet at 4:30. For earnings, we do have a slew of earnings. As you know, we're in the midst of the deluge of earnings this week, and quite a bit of information coming through. So if you're a subscriber, you're getting a huge amount of information, both in pre-market and after hours, including the Squawk audio, the forum, and the feed. So quite a bit of information coming for you there. One of the things that we did want to highlight today, including YNDX, we did see some call activity on the offer. And folks, if you're new to options, a great place to start is understanding how they work. We do have a ticker presentation on options, and the TradeXchange is actually known for providing option information. So if you're seeing call activity on the offer, tends to be a bullish sentiment. GSAT, we saw put activity on the bid, also bullish sentiment. Purchasing puts on the offer is bearish. You're seeing put activity on the bid side, tends to be a bullish sentiment. One thing that we did want to highlight, KGC, we did see put activity on the offer, as we mentioned. We'll show you this chart right here. And what's interesting is that, so what was detected was a rather significant block of over just about 25,000 contracts at 20 cents on the offer, expiring August 19th. Remember, KGC reported today earnings per share of -2 cents versus the expected penny positive. So again, very interesting bet there on KGC, and you really just see that if you take a look at 1142 right over here. I'll show you that right there, and you really, and that was about what, $4.90. And again, if you're purchasing puts on the offer, you have a bearish tone to the transaction. You saw that going down to 470 before coming back up. But again, very interesting bet on KGC. And again, the earnings was less than expected of a penny. Earnings per share coming to -2 cents there. A couple of other interesting tidbits here. So we'll go over some insider transactions, company filings in bold. We did see a 13G filing with a 6.6%. DAL early in the morning and overnight. We saw a CFO purchasing over 25,000 shares at $38.91. And that's really important, folks, when you see insiders purchasing like that, and what that means to the underlying security. In terms of syndicates, we did have a secondary in WBA of 15 million shares. KDMN, we did have an IPO today at 6.2 million shares of common stock at $12 per share. And so we saw that open this morning. Did want to highlight a couple of level watch alerts from Zozo level watch alert during the day. We'll start off with EBIO. We'll just pull that right up for you folks. In EBIO at 931, over $3.75. And you see here on your right-hand side, you see the blue arrow pointing to the level watch alert. You see the white line. That's the level that we're looking for. And you really see a nice uptrend in EBIO. And, you know, you are seeing some volume coming into the name as well. So, again, that's a nice way of looking at things. Also, we'll take a look at DRD at 1116. We'll magnify that for you. DRD over $8.02, and that's 1116. So, again, you saw volume coming in over that particular level, and you see a very nice follow-through in DRD. Through the going into the afternoon there. So again, that's in DRD. Couple of nice level watch alerts from Zozo level watch alert, only in the TradeXchange, folks. And it's important to get this information in real time. That's really the key. Taking a look at your merger and risk arbitrage, which we provide in our morning mashup. Just wanted to highlight the LOGM, CTXS, and SQNM and LH Sequenom to be acquired by LabCorp for $2.40 per share in cash, or an equivalent of $302 million by tender offer. Folks, a lot of great information coming from the Trade Exchange. Highly recommend that you, if you're not a subscriber, get involved and get the information in real time. That's the key there. If you don't get the morning mashup, get it. Our subscribers get it, of course, in the forum. We provide that in the forum. But if you do like to get to the email as well, definitely sign up. We'll show you that in a moment, including the EGN, Early Global News. Check out our blog post. A lot of great information there. And we are working on the contributor series in a podcast form. We are on iTunes, folks. That's really exciting. So, folks, let us show you where we are on the World Wide Web, obviously, on the internet. You have the TradeXchange.com. Trade better, stay informed. We are built for traders by traders. Great way to reach out to us, whether email, by phone at 203-939-1250, email the Trade Exchange at thetradeexchange.com. We are located in Norwalk, Connecticut. One of the things we wanted to highlight to get on the list, folks, get your morning mashups, get on the emails. Very easy. Put your name there, email, phone number, your daily mashups. This is what it looks like. Great amount of information coming through. Chock full of information, chock full of value. And your EGN, Early Global News. This is what it looks like on a daily basis. Huge amount of information. Great value. Great way of staying informed and getting informed on a daily basis. So, folks, if you're not a subscriber, great time to do it. Only $39.95 for all of the information that we talked about: option activity, insider transactions, social media news, volume alerts, volatility alerts, desk chatter, algo, and your political and economic news as well. Folks, thanks for checking in. This has been the Trade Exchange Market Wrap-Up for the 27th of July, 2016. Wishing all of you a very pleasant evening.